Hello students, welcome to Crack Grade B online learning platform. Today in this video, we will discuss how to prepare government scheme, as many students were asking how to read the government scheme. Actually, in detail we will tell how to read the schemes, what are the important fact of any government scheme. So we will discuss in the detail. So you have seen in my previous video how to study in ESI. In that I have discussed that percentage of scheme being asked in the exam. So you can see that various percentage is given for different exams. So you can see that in 2017 28%, 2018 34%, 2019 1 minute 30%, 2019 in 2021 44%, in 21 it was descriptive was introduced. So you can see that 50 marks was objective paper, and out of it 44% were from the government schemes. And similarly in 22 50 marks objective paper, 62% from the scheme, 31 marks alone from the government scheme. So you can see that specific ministries are being targeted. You can see these schemes, only social issues and finance related schemes are being targeted. You don't have to study all the government schemes or all the ministry. So some specific ministries are important. We have discussed in the last video also. These ministries are very important. So in the previous slide also shown the schemes which are asked in the previous year exam. So first thing is any new scheme which are in news or whatever it is, but new schemes are very important which has been launched after the last year phase 2 paper of the RBI. If any new scheme is launched after that, after June you can consider, because in June phase 2 paper was there. So after June, if any new scheme is launched, that is very important. And schemes which are in news in last 4 to 6 months, I will suggest you to go for 4 months. If you are full-time preparing, then you can go up to 6 months. All those who are working candidate, they can go up to 4 months. So news means in PIB, specifically schemes are in news on PIB magazine or PIB new website. So you have to cover all the schemes which are in news in PIB section of the Government of India website. And all those who are our subscriber, we are covering in PIB, so you don't have to refer that one. So schemes of Ministry of Education are important. Schemes of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, schemes of poverty alleviation, employment generation. So for these you have to cover the Ministry of Rural Development, Housing, Urban Affairs, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Labor and Employment, schemes related to minorities, SC/ST, Divyangs, tribals, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Ministry of Minority Affairs, Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Selective scheme you have to study from these ministries, means you have to do at least a flagship schemes. We have shared a list in our Telegram channel during the NABARD exam. We have shared there is a list of 100 plus schemes, around 100. We will reduce the scheme list. Sorry, we will reduce the list, or that scheme. Some schemes we will reduce from that list. We will share again that list. So all those students who are not who don't want to study all the schemes, but I will suggest them to study that list, that important list I will share. Ministry of MSME flagship scheme, Ministry of Finance, all schemes are important. Ministry of Rural Development is very important. Labor and Employment, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, these are very important ministry. Scheme related to rural sector and sanitation, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Ministry of Panchayati Raj, Ministry of Rural Development again. Schemes related to women and child, Ministry of Women and Child Development scheme. Scheme related to Ministry of New and Renewable Energy is also important. Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, flagship schemes are important. Ministry of Food Processing Industries, and some schemes are there. Some few schemes from other ministries are there. So I will share in that list. That is important. So now it comes to the part how to study the schemes. These ministries are there. Lot of data is there. But how to study? So we will take some question. You can see that this year paper, the scheme was asked. Smile scheme was asked. So you can see that. I will show you the scheme also. This is Smile scheme. So many students used to ask what to study. So first of thing, full form of the scheme and in which year it is launched. It is launched in 21-22. I think 21 it was launched. So first thing, it is launch year. Second thing, budget of the scheme and the time period. That is very important component. To sub schemes are there, these this section. So you can see that what type of question was asked in the exam. Shelter homes where food, clothing, recreational facilities, skill development. What was the name of the shelter home? So it was asked. So you can see it is given in the scheme, housing in the form of Grimagrahe. So you have to read in so much detail. You can see that they have asked this from here. So housing in the form of Grimagrahe, shelter homes Grimagrahe, where food, clothing, recreational facilities, skill development opportunities, recreational activities, medical sport, etc. will be provided. So you have to uh, note, means you have to cram such important fact also while studying the scheme. More question you can see that which of the following is true regarding scheme scholarship for student studying in 11th, 9th until post graduation to enable them to complete their education, skill development and livelihood under PM the scheme for the department, setting up a beggar protection cell. So we will see scholarship option is there, skill development and livelihood under PM DAX is there, but provision of transgender protection cell it is there. And second component is for act of begging. There is no means provision of beggar protection cell in question. Beggar protection cell was given in question. You will see setting up a beggar protection cell. So only A and B. So you have to read so much in so much detail. You means you have to cram the fact whatever is given in the scheme we have given in our syllabus, that you have to read, and all those who are studying themselves, so you can get, you can see that how you have to study, what points you have to cram. So such things you have to cram in your mind, means at least important components you have to study. More question you can see that they asked about the budget and the scheme year time period. So it was also there. Here it is given 365 crore. You can see. More question we will see. Which of the following is true regarding the scheme? This was Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana, PMAGY. So I will show you the Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana. So this was the scheme, Pradhan Mantri Adarsh Gram Yojana. So if you are studying this scheme, first thing is from where it was started and when it was started. In July 2007 from Ganganagar, Rajasthan it was started. So this is first. Second is the aim. It will target the integrated development of villages in which the population of scheduled caste is above 50%. So it is important fact. So you can see that question asked. There were some points given about the scheme. So you can see it is given in there that 50 critical socio-economic monitorable indicators as part of 10 domains we have highlighted in our content, and the same thing was asked in the exam. Next was which of the following state was not included in the pilot project of the scheme. So pilot project of the scheme, again we have given the details. A total of 100,000 villages from Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Bihar, Himachal Pradesh and Assam were selected for the pilot phase. So you have to cram such important facts, means if you are appearing for RBI NABARD exam. So IBPS usually asks so much details, means any scheme you are studying. Generally these type of things are not being asked by the UPSC. So all those who are preparing according to UPSC pattern, so I will advise them study in detail, as if it is given in the UPSC magazines, or you are referring UPSC websites, government scheme compilation. So such details, if you are finding in those magazines, then it is okay, you can go with those magazines. Otherwise you have to take care of such data at your end. All those who are a subscriber, you don't have to look after any other source. We are providing everything in our content. Next question was, under the scheme to take up identified activities which do not get covered under the existing central and state government scheme through dash funds provided as central assistance to the extent of 20 lakh per village. That was gap filling. So small thing was asked. You can see that rupees 20 lakh. 1 minute. Not able to write. You can see that here. This one is rupees 20 lakh for activities under the gap filling component. So such small thing you have to cram. More example I will show you. This one. Next is, which of the following is not of a objective of PMMSY? So you can see that there were 5 options were given. So 5 options PMMSY. I will show you. We have covered, if you are studying this PMMSY, Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. First thing, which ministry, when it was launched. 1 minute. You can see that Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. First thing, you must know the nodal ministry when it was launched. Key points means budgetary outlay and time period, like 5 year from 2020 to 24 to 25, and other details. Total funding is to be borne by the central or government, or have to be shared in some ratio. Some schemes are being shared between the center and state. So you have to read all the details. You have to cram everything. Like other important fact like this one, enhancing fish production from 220 lakh metric ton by 24-25, 9% in fish production, 9% by 24-25 the GVA of fishery sector. So all these things you have to cram, because, and you have seen the in NABARD this PMMSY was asked in the descriptive paper also. So they can ask that is in schemes in descriptive paper also. So you have to take care of every important data given for the scheme. So you have to study accordingly. Next, you can see that which of the following is true regarding Stand Up India scheme. PMSY I have shown you. There were directly these objectives shown in the paper. These objectives were taken and these were changed into 5 options. One option was changed. You have to select the incorrect one. So you have to read the objective wherever it is given of the objective of the schemes. Those are very important. Nowadays we have seen many times they have directly asked the question from the objective of the scheme. Next was the Stand Up India. So every important data, that it was launched in which year, has been extended till 2025. So, facilitated bank loan between 10 lakh and 1 crore to whom they facilitate the loan. And this one, credit guarantee, margin money requirement, every important data. Like this one, it's interest rate MCLR plus 3% plus 10 or premium itself repayable in 7 year up to and with a moratorium period of 18 months. So all such important facts you have to cram. You can see that there were 3 options, so you have to choose the correct one for this scheme. Similarly, for Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana, A person at the age of 61 year can invest in the scheme. Pension is paid monthly, quarterly, half yearly, yearly basis. Total investment limit is 7 lakh. So like this, every important fact you have to cram. So accordingly, you have to study the schemes. Every important data you have to cram. So you can see that in our document we have given all the important facts which are important for exam. You can see that easily if you have read these all these data, then you can easily attempt the question. So I have shown you that how you have to read. Next is one more important thing I will tell you, that specifically Ministry of Rural Development. Ministry of Rural Development, there are some old schemes which are generally asked from the Ministry of Rural Development only. So Ministry of Rural Development old scheme is important. Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. These three ministries are important. From their old scheme also can be asked. You can see that in NABARD, I think NABARD, they ask about the TRISOM. The scheme is for rural youth. So they have asked. So why these schemes are important? Only those schemes which are currently active. If they are structured from most of the rural development schemes are restructured from the old one. So, like example, we are taking this Savran Jayanti Gramin Swarojgar Yojana by Ministry of Rural Development. So this was launched by restructuring the existing scheme IRDP TRISOM Integrated Rural Development Program, training of rural youth for self-employment, and DWCRA, development of women and child in rural areas, supply of improved toolkits to rural artisans. So Ganga Kalyan Yojana, billion well scheme. So this scheme was uh, launched after restructuring the existing scheme. So what you have to do, and later on this scheme was known as NRLM. So this was restructured to NRLM from 1st April 2013. So you have to study the history of the NRLM, that SGSY was there it was launched in 1999. What was the main important fact? You have to you don't have to study like funding pattern, what was their revolving fund under SGSY. You don't have to study, only what was the objective under this scheme. Mainly objective you have to learn, and what were the existing schemes like these schemes, and what was the objective of these schemes, and year of launch you can read, because sometimes they can ask. So don't read in details like these things, you don't have to study. And in our content we will reduce this content also, because they will not ask the funding pattern of the SGSY, they will ask the funding pattern of NRLM. Okay. And these things, revolving fund, and these data, they will not ask for the old scheme, only the new one, NRLM is very important. So only the history you must know, the year of launch of the old scheme, and what was the objective, like aim, establishing a large number of micro enterprises in the rural area. And if any other objective is given, that you have to study. And these all the things like refinancing, revolving fund, all these things of old schemes you don't have to study, only the new one. So these components are important. These restructure means this Sound Janti Gramin Swarojgar Yojana was restructured from the following scheme. They can ask which of the following scheme was not a part of the restructuring schemes of Sound Janti Gramin Swarojgar Yojana. So they can ask like this. So you have to cram all these things, 7 components. These were schemes, 6 or 7. These were the schemes which were restructured into SGSY, and finally SGSY was restructured into National Rural Livelihood Mission, because this is very important scheme. Every year they're asking. Last year they did not ask. This year they did not ask, but every year they're asking. So most probably next year they can ask. So you have to read schemes like this. I have shown you the some examples and given you the means I have shown you the facts also from the original scheme documents. These are the schemes, means these are the facts we have taken from the original scheme document only. So you can see that how we are covering the government scheme in so much detail. All important facts we are covering, and if you will start studying yourself, then you will not be able to find the important facts, because the original guidelines document is huge. 100 200 pages will be there. So accordingly you have to prepare. If you have any doubt, you can contact us, all those who are our subscriber. So kindly subscribe our channel if you are not subscribed, and refer your friends who are preparing for this exam. Thank you and happy learning.